So as I am sure most of you have figured out by now, my name is Father Don Everts. I am the new pastor here at St. Elizabeth ad Seton, officially as of yesterday, actually. And so it is a great privilege to be here and to walk and journey with you in faith. And I'm certain over the coming years, we're going to learn a lot from each other and be able to experience the awe-inspiring love and glory of God in so many profound ways with one another. As you can imagine, my life feels a little bit upside down with the transition. I'm sure many of you feel the same way with the change in leadership. But I know, and we all know, that God will get us to where we need to go and that God indeed provides. So I celebrated my 28th anniversary at the beginning of June. We're in July now, right? Beginning of June, I celebrated my 28th anniversary. And so here's a strange little fact. This is my third assignment to Green Bay. So now I have served at 6 of the 8 West Side parishes in Green Bay. I was a parochial vicar at Nativity. I spent 12 years as pastor at Annunciation, St. Joseph, St. Jude, and St. Patrick's. And now I am here at St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. I'm what they call a second career vocation, right? I was managing and working a restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia, actually. And my mother got sick. I was in my mid to late 20s at the time. And I came home to see her. And at that time, I started reprioritizing my life and what's important. What really should I be doing with my life? And I went back to Georgia, and my superior called me in for a meeting, and they offered me a promotion, and I quit. And 2 months later, I was in the seminary. I was telling my closest friends at the time about that decision to change, and first of all, they thought I was pulling a prank on them, right? They would not believe that I was actually doing that. And I had to actually show them my acceptance letter to the seminary before they would believe that I was telling them the truth. And then the next thing that happened was, honestly, they thought I was absolutely crazy. You had a good career, your life was headed in a direction, they offered you a promotion. What are you doing? You're crazy, right? Now, if you stop to think about it, our faith is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And if you listen to who we are, and if we walk in the light and truth of Christ, it's radical. It's crazy by the standards of the world in which we live today, what we are trying to do and how we are trying to live our lives. And if you think about all of those spiritual leaders that different people profess to in our world, right? You think about things like Buddha or Muhammad and stuff. No one is as radical as Christ in his call. So listen to what he says. I mean, he's really blunt about who we are as people of faith and how we're called to live our life, right? He says, if you're going to follow me, if you are going to follow me, you have to love me more than you love your father and mother. Shocking if you stop to think about it, because he takes the most core human relationship that we have, right? Mother to child, father to daughter, children to parents. He takes that most intimate relationship in our life and he says, if you're going to follow me, you have to love me more than you love your mother and your father. And that is absolutely crazy by the standards of the world in which we live. And then the question becomes, right, as people of faith, why would we do that? Why would we be this crazy? And the answer is really simple. Because we experience the unconditional, redemptive love of Jesus Christ. We've experienced his life poured on a cross to give us life. We know the freedom of the children of God, right? Freedom from the darkness and sin that ensnares and imprisons us. And we know that the only thing that will enable us to live the life we're meant to have is if we follow Christ, if we open ourselves to the love that he's offering. And we understand that unless we're connected to the source of life, right? Unless we're connected to the very source of life, we will be imprisoned by the darkness. Evil will ensnare our hearts and our minds and souls and destroy us and rob us of the very dignity and sanctity of our lives, right? We will surrender ourselves. We will be manipulated by the darkness. That's why we make the conscious choice to follow Jesus Christ, to be disciples of Jesus Christ. But by the standards of the world in which we live, that's crazy. That's radical. But wait, right? There's more. Jesus isn't done with us, right? He says, now you love me more than you love your parents. You made me a priority in your life, right? You're connected to the source of life. Every day, you must get up and carry your cross. Now notice what he's saying here. Be careful. Get up and carry your cross. You have to get up every day and seek, right? And seek to fulfill my mission as vessels, as children of God, right? You know, we will experience all sorts of challenges in our life. Different kinds of loss, different kinds of pain, different kinds of suffering, and those come at us. But he's telling us, you have to go and seek, right? Go and carry your cross. Seek to be my disciple. Pay attention and open yourselves to being that vessel. And if you do that, right, then you're my very presence. You're that vessel of God's unconditional love for your brothers and sisters. And they too encounter that freedom, that hope, that light that we all need, right? We all need God. And that's why we're here today. And then ultimately, what our response really is in faith is this radical hospitality, right? Radical hospitality, where every person that we encounter, we seek to help welcome them into the light, welcome them into the love of God, welcome them into the truth of Jesus Christ and the power of Jesus Christ in his life. So I grew up with crazy, right? I'm the 9th of 12 children. I grew up on a dairy farm just west of here in New London. And I tell you what, I learned how to deal with crazy at an early age. When you have 14 people living in a house sharing one bathroom, you know how to deal with crazy. But the truth is, right? The truth is, if we walk and live in light of what we have experienced and received ourselves, that is the true hope and the true truth, right? And it transforms not only ourselves, but the world in which we live by the very grace of God. So I guess I could have shortened this all up by telling you today two things, right? First of all, telling you you're crazy because you're here, right? So you're absolutely crazy. And second, I want you to be crazy. Now, how is that for a start? I want you to be crazy. That's what God, not just me, God wants us to be crazy. Crazy enough to walk in light of his love and grace and glory, and to do our part in fulfilling his great plan of salvation, of sharing light, hope, and truth with our world. And the crazy thing is, when we do that and we're at our best, the amazing, awe-inspiring light and hope that is instilled in our world.